Alright, hi guys. So, I'm gonna be reading some Reddit stories while I open a GAN 12 UI. I was originally gonna just do like a normal voiceover for an unboxing, but then wouldn't it be so much more fun to dive deep into strangers' personal lives that they've posted on the internet? So, yeah, there's gonna be timestamps in the description, but yeah. So my ex-boyfriend, Logan 34, was kinda toxic. Always telling me I wasn't good enough for him, always telling me I needed to do better. So I tried to make him happy. I would tell all of this to my friend, Kara, 28, and ask her for advice. Sorry, this is interesting already. I skimmed through it a little. She always said just try to make sure I was happy and that I could always stay with her if needed. I was living with Logan at the time. So one day I was making dinner when Logan comes home, visibly upset. I asked him what was wrong and he just ignored me, pushing past to the bedroom. I was about to enter the bedroom, but I hear Logan sweet talking to someone on the phone. It was Kara. Ooh, sorry. I immediately entered the bedroom, and Logan looked up at me, ending the call with Kara. Kara? Kara? I don't know. He smiled at me and asked if dinner was ready, acting as if nothing had happened. I told him no and said I needed to get something. I acted as if I was looking for something, but went back to the kitchen and finished dinner. A few days pass, and Kara and I are hanging out. She needs to use the bathroom, so I sneak onto her phone and check her calls and messages. And there he is, Logan. He is pinned in messages. Damn! I quickly read some texts that include heart emojis, I love you, and pet calling. The whole lovebird deal. I quickly put her phone down. When she returns, I tell her I need to leave. I drive to Logan and I's shared place and pack. I pack only things I need. I bought a plane and fly to my parents' house. Logan and Kara never text me to see where I went, and I never text them. So fast forward a month, I get sent something by Kara. It is her in her room, fully undressed, with the caption, "I'm waiting for you, Logan Bear." That's crazy. She quickly deletes the text to me, but the damage has been done. I send her the middle finger emoji. Am I the asshole? So, obviously, we have no way of knowing if these stories are 100% true, because this is really easy to think it's fake. But for the purpose of this video, we're just gonna assume they're all real. But I think it's pretty obvious you're not the asshole. I think in these like cheating situations, like it's pretty obvious who is the asshole here. Like the boyfriend and your friend is obviously just horrible people. They kind of seem like douchebags, and they're clearly old enough to know better. But there is an update, so I had deleted both of the numbers as some people had suggested. I have a wonderful new boyfriend who is a childhood sweetheart from high school. Aw, that's nice. Aw, I was his first and only girlfriend, believe it or not. So, like I said, I deleted both Logan and Kara's numbers. Well, 2 days ago, I got a text from an unknown number, but I recognized the number very well, as it had been Kara. She asked me to call her, so I did the following day. She was in tears. Basically, Logan had proposed to her 4 weeks after the whole ordeal went down, but apparently Logan had been cheating on her the whole time behind her back. Whoa, who could have guessed, guys? Kara had told me she now understood the position I was in and hates herself for being that way. And she asked if we could make up and become friends again. I flat out told her no, because I don't want her back in my life. She called me, and I quote, selfish brat who only cares about herself. I wasn't the one who cheated, but anyways, I guess the real question now is, am I the asshole for telling Kara I don't want to be friends with her, even though she did sound very sympathetic? Okay, so again, it's very obviously not the asshole, but also like Kara couldn't have been that sympathetic if she just immediately after called you selfish brat who only cares about herself. I think she's clearly just trying to get some like sympathy from someone, and well, obviously Logan's just a complete douchebag, just a cheater. That's not really like a question here, and I think you're in the right. I don't think you did anything wrong by just not being friends with her. You didn't even call her any bad words or anything. You didn't cuss her out. You didn't swear. You just kind of ignored her, which you don't owe her anything. You're not obligated to be friends with her. You're completely in the right here. I don't think you really did anything wrong here. Kara and Logan just seem both like complete douchebags. I mean, maybe Kara will learn her lesson and try to change, but you're not obligated to watch her change. You're not obligated to stick with her. So, yeah. I also just want to add this. I find it really funny that if you go into the account of the Redditor who posted this, The next post is, what do you think is proper revenge on someone? Which I just find really silly.
Oh, that's so funny.
So the first story is, am I the asshole for not giving my ex a second chance after the humiliating breakup? I, 21 female, was dating James, 23 male, fake name by the way, for 3 years. I want to start that I'm a shy and super quiet person to be with. Even with him, I always had a hard time to talk. And James, he's a social butterfly. He's talkative, has a large group of friends. Long story short, he will usually drive to his friends' parties or social hangouts, so I could be friends with his friends, but it never worked out. His friends will not let me speak or talk without getting boring or just shoving me to the side. But he brushes it off, as they're just not patient like that. I never look at his phone to see if he's cheating or anything, but I was so insecure about how a lot of his girlfriends will hit on him in front of me without any reason. Damn, okay. The day of the breakup happened on a party of his friends, and again, I tried my best to socialize with his friends, but there was no use. I told James I was going to get some more snacks for the party, and that's when he snapped at me, saying, "See, you're just finding an excuse to leave the party. That's why my friends don't like you." I was speechless, so I told him I wasn't leaving, I was just getting snacks. And that's when he dropped the bomb. And he said he's done with me, and to never contact him again. Loud and clear for the entire room of people to hear. This is my first time reading this, by the way, this is insane. And then his friends started cheering, like they just kicked out a rude friend or something. I wanted to cry so bad, so I left, and good thing I had my car with me, because on the way back home, I bawled my eyes out like I never cried before. I felt so humiliated by the fact he didn't even decide to have a private conversation with me. And felt horrible how his friends started cheering him for breaking up with me like that. Fast forward today, I had already moved on and was doing great when I got a long text message from a random number. Ooh. That had the same area code from my town. It was James. He started the message with how he's been doing in his life and yada yada yada. Oh, so, okay, they were together 3 years ago, I think. It was a little confusing in the post, but he said that he'd been in 3 relationships after a breakup. He said he didn't feel the same as compared to when he was with me. All the girls he dated either cheated on him or were too toxic and abusing. So he reached out to see if we can start again and give him another chance to be together. I was stunned. This man, after he humiliated me in front of his so-called friends, wanted a second chance because I was the only girl who didn't complain about his life and whatnot. I was angry. I told him that I don't think it was a good chance to try a relationship again because we were not even compatible to begin with, and that I was sorry for all the relationships he had through the years. Didn't work as expected. But I just couldn't trust him, or even I don't think I could fall in love with him again. This man didn't even apologize to begin with, so after I sent the message, I blocked the number and went on with my day. Now I'm getting angry messages of his friends calling me for not giving him a chance, and even to the point to bombard my phone with calls every day. So, am I the asshole? So, I think this one's really obvious. I think it's kind of obvious the girl writing this is not the asshole. The ex, James, and all his friends seem like really shitty people. And like, I don't see like at any point where you were in the wrong here. I mean, we obviously don't know the full story, but from what's in the post, you seem like you're completely in the right. And I think you did the right thing by by blocking him again. I think you did the right thing by not trying again. But there is an update. So this is a week later, I think. She decided to take Reddit's advice and screenshotted all the messages that James, her ex-boyfriend, friends sent to her calling her all types of names. Afterwards, and unblocked James and sent all the screenshots to him. You won't believe it, but this man finally decided to believe me and apologize about his friend's behavior and how he didn't want it to go as far as it got. I am surprised by that too. I did not expect him to do that, but I've told him that this is one of the many reasons of why I can't give him another chance. I also dropped the bomb on him that I'm seeing someone, just talking stage, nothing serious yet, that is taking the sweet time to know me as a person, and that's why I won't let him have another chance because I'm not going for old scraps. He apologizes again and even also said he just wants to keep in contact with me because he thinks he owes it to me for all the trouble he caused. That's stupid, but whatever. By the time I wanted to finish the conversation, he told me that during our time together he had cheated with one of his girlfriends. Damn. Okay. So that also explains why he broke up with me that time, because he was sneaking around the stupid blonde sorority girl. Oh, sorry. Sneaking around the stupid blonde sorority girl because she was better than me? Something like that. Saw it coming, not going to lie. But for some reason, it did hurt, now even though it's been a while. He said he wanted some sort of closure and telling me this was the end of it. I blocked him again, and now my phone is finally back to being silent since I stopped getting calls and messages. Even his mom texted me saying sorry for his son's behavior. So that's that. So again, just to restate, this girl is not the asshole. I think that's pretty obvious. I think this one was actually like really obvious. It's clear that James was in the wrong here, and it seems like his mom's a nice person for checking up on you, kind of. So, yeah. So next story. So the next story I got is: Am I the asshole for yelling at my girlfriend's 15-year-old daughter after she turned off the AC in my camper, putting my dog in danger? So this happened during one of the hottest days we've had in New England, like 100 degrees. We stay in the camper a lot during the summer because my girlfriend has a bunch of family there and the kids like it. There are pools, hot tubs, activities, and her daughter actually walks there with my friends and family. My girlfriend's 15-year-old daughter was watching her 6-year-old brother in the camper for a bit while we were gone. When I got back around 3 pm, the inside of the camper was insanely hot, like over 90 degrees. And I found the AC had been shut off. My 7-year-old corgi, no, a corgi, no. Okay, was in there after. No, was in there and was pounding hard and clearly overheated. I got her outside right away and started trying to figure out what happened. Turned out the daughter had shut off the AC and left the camper with the 6-year-old. I asked her calmly at first why she did it. She just said, I don't know, and rolled her eyes. I asked again and got the same thing with more attitude. That's when I raised my voice and told her she could have killed my dog and not to touch my stuff. I didn't scream or swear or call her any names. Just said that firmly and walked away. This was witnessed by a family member who was also involved in the questioning. She didn't show any emotion, didn't apologize, didn't seem scared, just kind of stood there with an attitude like she didn't care. My girlfriend says she apologized to her, but she never said anything to me. My girlfriend understands why I was upset, but also made a bunch of excuses. Well, she wasn't told not to touch the thermostat, and she's only been told not to touch the heat at home. That kind of felt like minimizing it, like I'm overreacting. But to me, it was a huge deal. My dog could have had a heat stroke and died. I haven't had a chance to talk to her daughter again yet, but I plan to. I'm not trying to scare or punish her, I just want to make sure this never happens again. So, am I the asshole? So, again, I think it's pretty clear that you're not the asshole. But I think, like, when it's in serious situations like this, like the dog's life is in danger, I don't think talking to her will really make a difference. Like, talking to her again, I think the best thing you can do is, like, not leave her in control of the camper. Obviously, you can't really blame the 6-year-old. He's 6,
Okay.
but she has common sense. She knows better than this. So, like, I don't think talking to her again would really make much of a difference because she already should have the maturity and knowledge to not to do this. And, like, I think it's not worth the risk of leaving her in the camper again, especially with the dog or the 6-year-old in it. If your end goal is just to make sure this never happens again and not really to punish her, then just make sure she stays away from the camper by herself and never leave her in charge, you know? So we got another one. This one's just kind of funny and it caught my eye. So, to end it off, am I the asshole for marrying a man who proposed to me while I was on the toilet? It's not as bad as it sounds. My friends are just obsessed with that part. Fake names, she's 32 and female,
I'm like
and her
solving through my
fiance
phone
Peter
camera, so I
is
can't see
30
shit.
and male. Oh, okay. So they had arranged a candlelight dinner in hotel room. There were flowers, rose petals, and music. There was my favorite dinner and my favorite dessert. Peter was in a tuxedo. I was wearing a dress. The evening was just so amazing. While I was eating, my IBS started acting up. I ran to the bathroom. It was mortifying, but at least I was comfortable enough with Peter to allow him to come in. I was apologizing for ruining our evening while I was in the toilet. And he said it's okay. I feel like he wanted to ask me to marry him the whole evening. I told him I love him, and he said I love you too. I told him, I'm sure you'll take care of me in sickness and in health. That comment
I'm
made
so
Peter
washed
smile
lately,
and he
bro.
got down on one knee. I didn't care that this was a situation. I was so
You want
happy to
that
say
soul?
yes.
Oh, did I?
I felt like he wouldn't have asked that evening
Yeah.
if I
I'm
didn't
like, I
say the
can't
in
like see because
sickness
I'm
and in
just
health
solving through my
comment.
phone camera.
I told my best friend and another family friend Bailey. I told him the truth. Kate said it's weird, creepy, and an asshole move on his part. I explained that he likely would have put it off if I didn't make the health comment. Kate said I was desperate and that I should have some respect for myself. Bailey said if I thought Peter would ask for another time, then I should have let him ask another time. Before talking to them, I thought I had the sweetest proposal story. Now I feel like an asshole who caused my amazing fiance to have a terrible story. Am I the asshole? This one's just really funny, especially like picturing the scene that's happening in here. Um, I think it's obvious again, you're not the asshole. If you thought you had a sweet proposal story, if that's what sweet is for you, then you shouldn't let other people or your best friends even really get in your head. If it's really between you and him, and if both of you thought it was sweet, it's just really funny, then it's neither of you did anything wrong. Neither of you guys were assholes, so okay. But there is an update and some further context. The proposal happened last Saturday, and I had been holding off telling my friend and Peter's parents. Both sets of parents live in a different state. Tonight, we told my parents, first via video chat. My parents are both 58. My mom is a massive fan of romance, sorry, and I knew she would ask about the proposal. Peter and I told my parents the whole proposal story. My mom was over the moon. She said proposing like that is better than any idea she ever had. My dad said it just proves the love Peter has for me. My mom asked if she can tell others, and I said sure. I had asked my mom to be my maid of honor. After getting enraged, my pick for maid of honor was either going to be Kate or my mom. I didn't pick my mom to spite Kate. I'm not punishing Kate. Kate's initial reaction to the proposal story would just make her being the maid of honor awkward. Plus, my mom is so happy with our union, and she would love to plan a wedding. Then we told Peter's parents via video chat. His parents appreciated the comedy. So this is the last update. So Kate and Bailey both agreed to being bridesmaids. Kate apologized, and then she also sent a video of her apologizing. And I think they kind of all just made up. And I don't think this story wasn't too serious. It was mostly just, I saw it, it was really funny, it caught my eye. The comments are saying it's really cute too, and it's definitely an interesting proposal for sure. Yeah, so that's all the stories I'm going to read today, and that's the end of the video.